it's, you just can't do it because there will be always something that you want or need, or so it's the same with a country. A country's never going to be perfect. All the country can do is try to be better, and I think since we're trying, we're already ahead of the game. So anyway, there's the things that we can do as a country, I think, so it doesn't get bad, so it stays at the 000 whatever, and that's all we're trying to do. But unfortunately, to do that, you have to piss some people off. My kids get mad when I tell them they can't do XYZ, and that's just the way it is. I always say if my kids are happy, I'm doing something wrong. Maybe that's extreme, but it's what it is if you give everything your kid wants and he's always satisfied, you're probably not being the best parent you could be. Young people need to be put in their place. I always say even the best employee needs to be pushed. So it's no different with groups of people. I think we say, hey, we need to do this or do that, and whatever it is, just get a bunch of really wise people and figure out what it is and do it, and don't worry about offending people, because we're not doing it to piss people off. We're not doing it because we don't like this person or that person. We're doing it because as a society to exist and to be a free it's all about, the old saying is religions have more freedom here than their own country. So it's not about, doing it just for white people or doing it just for America. No, it's about, it is doing it for America, but whoever is in America, no matter what religion you are, we have to have certain rules, otherwise it just will not work. And of course you say, what if this person gets in office and he doesn't like this people? Well, that will get exposed so fast in this information age that person will not be able. It'll be like a vampire just stepping out on the porch on a sunny day. They'll be exposed right away, because even if it's in private, the way people bicker, that person will be like, what, I want this, I'm not getting it, I'll expose these conversations that I had that were supposedly in private. And again, that may work for a very small group of people, but not on national politics, because now you have to have the enforcers and everybody has to be in on it, and now you're no different than any conspiracy theorist. But as far as that goes, so I am okay at people being upset because we are trying to make us safer. And just like with me, if I, when I'm searched, I may get, I'll never assume it's because of anything that I'm doing, or this white person is, white people were known for going on shooting sprees, so we're checking. No, I just don't like the inconvenience, and I may not like the way it's done or the method, but it's a necessary evil. And again, it's as you're worrying, as I'm looking around, and this is where it ties into bettering yourself. I'm thinking, what would I do if something did happen? And I'm thinking, okay, if this person pulled out a knife or a gun, am I physically fit enough to grab this chair and smash it over their head? That's a thing that you have to work backwards. You can't wait until you're at the venue and say, all right, I'm going to get into shape right now. I'm going to do 20 push-ups and I'm ready to go. No, it's, more motivation for exercising and working out and doing what you got to do is just in case you're in that scenario. And there's going to be scenarios like the guy in Times Square. I guess he tackled the driver. It was kind of a big guy. And, one of those guys where you're like, oh, God, if he got me in a headlock, what would I do? So, and that guy lifts a lot of weights, and you think maybe this was one of his motivations, maybe not. But even if you never do it, look at how better off you are. As every event you go to, you'll say, I'm as healthy as I could be, and I could run from this situation. I could grab my kids and go for cover. or I could stop a person as long as it's reasonable. I mean, I'm talking about somebody has their back towards you or just whatever, and you and another guy. But don't ever be caught so out of shape where you're ineffective, because that messes with your psyche too. Every time you go somewhere, you're gonna feel like a victim, and that's even if you never use it, the fact that you think, oh, I couldn't do anything even if I wanted to, that's got to start to lead to a little bit of depression, a little bit of, oh, I'm out of life and I'm not participating. I hope there's somebody here that can protect me. Again, I'm in my mid-40s, so it's easy for me to talk, but I met plenty of people that were my age or younger that are just so out of shape that they're worthless. And so I think you need to, if that's motivation to get in the gym, go do it. Whether you're lifting weights or walking, just stay in shape, so you could be effective. Whether you're on a plane, you look at when people grab these guys, because I think if more people stopped said person from doing an act, people are going to think twice about it. The same reason the police station never gets robbed, because they know that as soon as they walk in the door, they're going to get their ass blasted back out the same door. And sorry, but it's true. Americans need to. There's one thing that bugs me. It's when you watch these robberies or whatever it is, or guys beating these girls up on video, like a liquor store. You always see the dude just standing there watching, takes a step back or turns the other way or walks out. I'm thinking, yeah, guys, this is the home of the brave, right? Look at you. And so what? Let's say the guy, you're there anyway. You try to get the guy and he gets over on you a little bit. Of course, if he has a gun or something, you got to be smart. But when it's just a guy that's just pissed off and beating on a girl or whatever, at least you threw your hat in the ring and you said, let's go. I mean, that's your kids at least know, hey, at least you tried to stop them, instead of just being a coward or maybe it's a cowardly act for sure. I mean, I'm not judging you. I wasn't there. But to see that, it sure as hell looks like a very cowardly act to me. So you need to be at least as best shape that you could be in at your age and your situation for when that stuff happens. And it could be anything. It could be if you're in a room and there's a fire and you need to get out, and you need the physical agility to get out. And at a certain level, I think you could help yourself, and then at a certain level you can't. But all I'm saying is just, why not be the best that we could be, to steal a slogan. And then for those of you that carry the firearms and are into firearms, I mean, look, if firearms are a sexy thing to talk about because it's more dramatic. Hollywood does its thing with firearms, and it's a whole topic by itself. And of course, if you are the type of person that loves guns, you're going to be, you're going to have every statistic for guns. And then if you're the type of person where you're like, guns, maybe it's not just a necessary evil, it's just an evil. I'll give you my take on it when we get back. Hey guys, we love sugar. Sugar tastes good. Problem is, it's causing obesity, it's linked to type 2 diabetes, so we switch over to artificial sweeteners, which at a certain level become bitter, and now it's linked to early dementia. In fact, if you're drinking diet sodas on a regular basis, you're 10 times more likely, studies say, in getting early dementia. So we have a sugar, it's called Next Sugar. It tastes great. It's as sweet as sugar. It's 100% on the sweetness index. Yes, there is an index for that. And guess what? It's half the calories, guys. You can bake with it, try it, get going. Everything. All right. We're talking about the old pistolas and everything else. Really quick is I know that they're talking about the new FBI director, Joe Lieberman. I think that's not a bad choice, because even though he doesn't have a background in law enforcement, I think just anytime, if he's a good listener and smart guy, delegate it out to people that dedicate their lives to it. Why the hell not? Because I think if, let's say somebody grows up in the Army and they're just like, okay, this is how you fight terrorists, blah, blah, blah. It may be something as just sitting back and say, wait a minute, what if it's just a kid that's bored and there's a vacuum because he doesn't believe in God, he doesn't have anything going for him, and then he is just kind of taken over by the ISIS image with the black flag in the background, the AK-47, and he's like, oh, yeah, Allah is something that it fills this void a little bit that I have, and so he goes in that direction and goes the wrong way. I think that's going to be one of the biggest problems, is just not these organized, highly funded groups. It's just going to be some kid that's just bored, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm standing for something finally, and so he's gonna go and do whatever. And out of 500 million people, 300, whatever, I gotta look that up. However many people we have in the United States, it only takes a few, to do a lot of damage. And whether it's, with a vehicle like we saw, and then a lot of other things. Some of the things I don't even want to mention because I don't want to give anybody any ideas. So I think you need somebody smart thinking, okay, we got these people that are in Afghanistan or Sudan and all these Muslim countries that are going to create problems abroad, but we also got this thing called America where it's just some kid in a computer that's just researching and gets these ideas, and it just takes 1 weak moment to make a really bad decision. And we got to fight it on that level too. And the biggest thing I think that's going to help us from stopping these sorts of things is just be aware, be vigilant. If you see anything, they say see something, say something. If somebody gets pissed off, oh well, they're already going to be pissed off anyway. But the people that are kind of pro-America are going to let it slide. And of course, this doesn't mean that we're all a bunch of hillbillies and we're going to don the rebel flag. No, it just means that sometimes the truth is in the middle. And just because we're not all the way on one side doesn't mean we're all the way on the other side. And last I checked, people are still trying to come to this country. If it's so racist and so this, so that, then people will be making a mass exodus, but they're not. The fact that they can complain as much as they can and nothing happens to them, if anything, they get a pat on the back, just proves my point, that it's not that bad a place. So anyway, so yeah, you got a lot of these homegrown. And, to call them terrorists, again, they probably can't even tell you what ISIS is and what it's about and the difference between ISIS and every other, extreme Muslim group. Though there's one common factor that, is not to the benefit of us. But, you just need that one person that says, what, I see this, I'm going to do it. And, it's no different than somebody committing suicide. They make a stupid decision in a weak moment, and it affects a lot of people. And unfortunately, that's just what it is. So talking about guns now, it's one thing to see something and say something. It's another thing to see something and stop something. And especially when it's these large groups that are being killed. Anything over you could go around with a knife and kill a couple people, but now if you got a gun, you can kill more than a couple people, but you could also, with a gun, stop people too. And now the problem is, okay, now you have a gun in a home, depressed kids can kill themselves with it. There could be accidents with children with it. So now, are you going to save more lives or hurt more lives? And I think John Lott wrote a book, More Guns, Less Crime, and there's a lot of good information there, and it's just purely statistics. But even to quote that, you sound like you're an extremist, so you can't even do